Right now, we are staying on top of breaking news in Coweta County, where a jury has just reached a verdict in a trial against a man accused of killing 2 gun store owners and their grandson.
The jury has found Jacob Muse guilty on all counts.
11 Live's Cody Alcord was in that courtroom joining us live tonight. So, Cody, the jury returns its verdict. You say that Muse has also just been sentenced. What is the sentence?
Yeah, so Jacob Muse will be spending the rest of his life behind bars. Of course, he'll have the opportunity to file an appeal, but the judge handing down life without the possibility of parole on all of those counts. As you mentioned, found guilty, 3 counts of malice murder, 16 total counts here. Jacob Muse was unfazed in the courtrooms. He stood and listened, but as you can imagine, for Evelyn and Tommy Hawk, along with their grandson Luke, their family, very happy that this verdict was handed down. That was what they were wanting for this man, to get the maximum sentence, which would be life without parole. Now, I can tell you it was Evelyn and Tommy Hawk who were killed, along with their grandson, as I mentioned, Luke Hawk. Luke was on spring break helping his grandparents at their gun store in Grantville when the shooting happened in 2022. It was revealed during trial a possible motive is that Muse hadn't been paying on a gun that he had on layaway and was afraid that he might be losing that. But again, at some point that the investigators here and the prosecution says Muse showed up to this gun store. And some gruesome details this week. More than 30 shots were fired. Of course, Evelyn and Tommy and Luke suffered multiple gunshots, a very hard thing for the family to hear during all of this. And as we have been reporting since this shooting, of course, County Coroner Richard Hawk, that was his parents and his son Luke who died in this. Of course, someone who works deaths all the time here in the county, but to find them, as you can imagine, unimaginable for this family. The Hawk family very upset during these days of this trial. Of course, today, tears, but also justice. As they mentioned, their lives have forever been changed. Luke's mom stood up and said he would have been 21 yesterday. His life taken too soon, and she says their holidays will never be the same. In fact, Christmas coming up here in just a few days, she said it was their favorite time of the year. Their tradition was to go out and get a real Christmas tree, because every year Luke would cut down that tree. Now she is without her parents and her son. Of course, this Christmas never be the same, as many of them have not since this death. Of course, we'll have much more on this, but for the Hawk family and, of course, their friends and family, ecstatic with this verdict. I should mention Jacob Muse had nothing to stay in the courtroom, and his family were not here for his sentencing, but he will now be heading to a state prison where he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars.
All right.